So ever since Skip Bayless left Undisputed last Friday, I've been trying to contemplate what could his next move be, because from some of his his tweets on Twitter, he made it pretty clear that he's not retiring, he's not done. He even said yesterday on his own podcast that he is not retiring, and he made it clear that he has a plan to launch something new before the start of the NFL season, or about when the NFL season starts. He said, quote, "I cannot wait to reveal all of the above as we get closer to the launch of NFL season." So something is in the works for Skip Bayless. He has a plan to do something next. He also included he will be continuing his solo podcast. And so when we look at Max Kellerman, he was let go by ESPN last June of 2023. Since that point, he has not come back in any capacity in sports media. And let me share with you some interesting information that came out from Awful Announcing. They spoke with Brian Kenny, and he seems to be somewhat close to Kellerman, and shared this. Brian Kenny. He said he's on ice, as they say. He texted me because I reached out to him after that happened. I said, "That's awful." And he said, "Hey, look, I'll get paid for doing nothing. Best job I've ever had. It's so strange in this era of corporate layoffs that they lay you off and you can't work, but they'll pay you. You can't do anything while they're paying you." Then he said, "So that's where he's at, and he will emerge. I don't want to speak for him, but I think it's later this year. He'll emerge, and look, he's an intellect. He has a very good way of looking at things. He'll be somewhere, and he'll be listened to." So it's just very interesting timing that Skip Bayless leaves FS1. It sounds like Max Kellerman is about to reemerge into the sports media space. And I think that if you're Skip Bayless and you're trying to make your next move, I think that you need to pair up with someone who already is well known in the sports media space. With, Shannon Sharpe, of course, he's well known among the NFL, but as a sports talker, he wasn't really well known. And so Skip Bayless, I think, sort of brought Shannon Sharpe in, and they grew that together. And Shannon Sharpe, of course, became an incredible person in the sports media landscape. But I think for Skip now, he needs to pair up with someone that has a similar name recognition as Skip Bayless himself does. And I think Max Kellerman does have that because of his time on First Take over the years. I think many people still do like Max Kellerman. And I think when Kellerman left First Take and was on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, it was just a different type of show. It wasn't really the same level of debate that First Take or Undisputed, was in times past. And I think that Max Kellerman really thrived with Stephen A. Smith. And I feel like Skip Bayless and Max Kellerman could create some of that same type chemistry. Just sort of the hot takes, the intense debates. I feel like Max Kellerman and Skip Bayless could be the perfect pair. And considering they're both in waiting right now, seemingly about to come out with something, I wouldn't be shocked if they are going to do it together. So that's my prediction. I do think Skip is going to pair up with Max Kellerman in the next month. I believe we'll see that news release. That's just sort of my take on the entire situation, because I doubt Skip would do something solo. He needs to do something debate style. Max Kellerman thrives in that role, and I think it would be perfect. Now the question would be, where would they do this? Because it doesn't sound like it would be on FS1. Skip just left there. I doubt it's on ESPN. Max Kellerman was laid off from ESPN. It doesn't sound like ESPN wants to bring back Skip either. And so there could be some random networks that want to bring them in, and I think some networks will be willing to pay them because I still think that they could draw in a pretty solid audience. One platform I thought could make lots of sense could be Peacock. The reason being, they've been, getting some NFL games recently. Of course, the Olympics, things like that. They're more of a streaming based service. And I think that if you're them, I think you'd be smart to pay Skip and Kellerman because you could draw on a pretty massive audience. Now, they probably wouldn't reach the same amount of people live as they would on ESPN or FS1 just because of their massive audience. But I think they could bring a lot of subscribers over there. And then, of course, you got YouTube and podcasts, and I think they could get plenty of downloads in that area as well. So even if you're not paying for Peacock, you could still watch the show. I saw someone else, some reporter mentioned maybe some sports books would pay them because you saw like Kay Adams. I think she works with either FanDuel or DraftKings. So that's another possibility. But that's sort of where I'm more uncertain as to where it could happen. But I do think this is going to happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll keep an eye on this, and if it does happen, I'll let you guys know on this channel. So feel free to subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss any content. I also cover the NFL as well on this channel if you are into the NFL. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.